Global crisis, economic disaster in Germany. Germany, along with Spain and Austria, is one of the few European countries that still hasn't recovered its pre-pandemic levels of consumption. But it's not just consumption. All metrics, such as GDP per capita and investment, point to the same thing. Currently, Germany is considered the sick man of Europe. The times when German politicians lectured others on how to manage the economy are long gone, and now it seems almost ironic. Some might even say that the Germans should learn from more down-to-earth countries like Greece. And perhaps they would be right, not only because the Greeks work hard, but because Germans work the fewest hours in the OECD and probably in the entire world. In Germany, taking sick leave has practically become a national sport. It's no exaggeration. Ask anyone who lives there and you'll see. But the reality is that this economic stagnation is far from funny, especially in such a tense geopolitical context with countries like Russia, China, North Korea, or Iran. It's not a good time for Europe's leading economy to lose momentum. Furthermore, Germany is not only the economic engine of the continent, but also its largest manufacturing power, accounting for 27% of Europe's industrial production. A crisis in Germany could drag all of Europe down with it. The lack of equipment in its army, like those exercises with brooms instead of weapons, may seem anecdotal, but if the situation worsens, the jokes will disappear. Some might think this crisis is only temporary, a result of the war in Ukraine or the dependence on Russian gas. I wish it was so, but there is growing evidence that Germany's problems run much deeper. Is this just a bump in the road or something much more serious? And the big question is, how can it be solved? Solving it is up to the politicians, but anyone, whether they live in Germany or elsewhere, can start preparing. Back to Germany, a mantra has been repeated. German factories cannot operate at full capacity because electricity is too expensive. In 20 years, nuclear energy, which once accounted for 30% of supply, has disappeared, replaced by coal and gas, much of which comes from Russia. This has led to a brutal increase in prices, forcing Germany to rely on liquefied gas from the United States. Although gas prices have now fallen, German industrial production has not recovered its pace. In 2008, Germany was admired for its resilience, but today it seems that a single blow has been enough to bring it down. However, not everything is due to the energy shock. China's aggressive export policy has hit Germany hard, especially its automotive industry. German brands like Volkswagen and Mercedes have been displaced by Chinese manufacturers like BYD, which now dominate their own market. Although exports to China have declined, sales to the United States have increased, mitigating the impact. Still, the German economy remains stuck in a recession. Another major underlying problem is its demographics. Germany has an aging population, and for more than 50 years, more people have died than have been born. This aging is having a serious impact on innovation and economic dynamism. Furthermore, the country has not been able to attract enough qualified young talent to offset this decline, despite having one of the most open immigration policies in the world. Another weakness is that Germans, known for their financial prudence, prefer to keep their money in bank accounts with negative interest rates, rather than investing in the stock market or real estate. This explains the lack of disruptive innovations. Despite the country's huge investment in R&D, Germany is caught in a kind of vicious circle. It needs to attract young talent to address its economic challenges, but with the current recession, few see the country as an attractive destination. Despite everything, Germany has shown its ability to recover before. In the 1990s, it was also in a similar economic crisis, but it managed to turn the situation around. In addition, industrial efficiency has improved in recent years, and important steps have been taken, such as a historic deregulation package to facilitate the installation of renewable energies. The country is hurting, yes, but if history has taught us anything, it is that you should never count Germany out. Germany, in addition to facing the problems already mentioned, is caught in a structural crisis that affects not only its industry, but also its overall economic model. Germany's historical dependence on manufacturing, especially in sectors such as automotive, has made the country vulnerable to global transformations such as the transition to electric vehicles and digitalization. The lack of rapid adaptation to these changes, coupled with fierce competition from countries like China, has eroded Germany's competitive edge in many areas. On the other hand, difficulties in incorporating renewable energies into its energy matrix are also jeopardizing its competitiveness. Despite efforts to decarbonize its economy, high CO2 taxes and system inefficiency have hampered progress. Environmental policies, while necessary, are driving up production costs and reducing the ability of German industry to compete globally. The demographic problem, as mentioned, remains a major obstacle. Germany needs to rejuvenate its workforce to sustain its economic and social system. However, unskilled migration is not enough, and the country continues to lose talent to more attractive economies such as the United States or the United Kingdom. Furthermore, the German labor market does not offer sufficient incentives to attract highly qualified professionals, which aggravates the lack of disruptive innovation in key sectors. Without an effective solution, the German economy could face a decade of stagnation and loss of influence on the global stage. In short, the economic crisis in Germany is much deeper than it seems at first glance. Energy problems, lack of innovation, international competition, and an aging population are just some of the challenges the country will have to overcome if it wants to regain its place as one of the world's leading economic powers. In this final episode, we will delve into the intricate geopolitical relationship between Germany and Putin. Over the years, this relationship has been a delicate dance, fraught with tensions and agreements. From Germany's energy dependence on Russian gas to the sanctions imposed by the European Union, every move has significantly impacted Germany's foreign policy. This relationship has shaped not only the German economy, but also its position on the world stage. German foreign policy has had to adjust to changing geopolitical dynamics, seeking a balance between its own economic interests and international pressures. The relationship with Putin has been a decisive factor in this equation. As the world faces new challenges and alliances, the future implications of this geopolitical dynamic are uncertain. Will Germany be able to maintain its influence in Europe and the world, or will it be swept away by the currents of change? This relationship, fraught with complexities and contradictions, will continue to be a focal point in the analysis of the global economy and politics in the coming years. Thank you for joining us in this comprehensive analysis of Germany's economic and geopolitical situation. Don't forget to subscribe and activate notifications to receive more content like this.